How to get a job after you have the immigration visa is something that bothers all the immigrant visa holders. So you get the permanent resident visa to Canada or to Australia, you got it stamped on your passport, and now you're wondering when to make move, and you're suddenly struck with the situation that you're landing into a new country with no job in hand. And this in fact, as a matter of fact, is the most challenging aspect of an immigration process, a risk that all the immigrant applicants have no option but to take. And the question is, how really speaking, and really speaking, to make the process smoother of relocation to another country, and also how to minimize the time span within which you have a job in another country to which you are immigrating. Well, there are no shortcuts to success, and there are no shortcuts to settlement really. First and foremost, I would ask all the prospective immigrants to any of the major destinations not to be fooled by presentations of various immigration consultants or lawyers who commit and tell you that they will get you a job by the time you land in the country, and you end up paying huge money to them for taking that service, where they will arrange for a job for you even before you have landed in that country. Use common sense. Do you think it's possible for you to get a job really, unless the person has not met you, has not interviewed you, really speaking, not seen some of the skill sets? Yes, we do come across situations where IT professionals are interviewed on videos, and through video conferencing they get to know the employees. But fact of the matter also is that the choice gets limited in looking at those options. So, and also even those options are not available to a majority of immigrant visa holders. So how really to ensure that this pain of looking for a job and thereby the fastest possible settlement in Canada or Australia, for that matter UK or any other country, New Zealand, that you're migrating to, how can you shorten down the particular time frame and the process? Well, like I said earlier, there are no shortcuts to success. You have to follow a very carefully planned strategy for looking for a job in the destined immigrant country. Start, number one, by making a Canadian or Australia or a New Zealand or for that matter British resume. You'll be surprised to know that each country has different formats, preferred formats of resume or curriculum vitae, as we call it, for when you apply for a job. So do some study on what the local preferred formats for structuring the resume is, and what are the kind of information going by your profile you should be presenting, and structure your resume as per that particular specific country's preferred format. So for Canada, make a Canadian resume; for Australia, make an Australian resume, like that. So they do some proper research in this and this area, and plan accordingly. That's number one and the most important step that you should take if you are looking for a job overseas and you have an immigrant visa in hand. Number one. Number two is make a short video of yourself not exceeding more than 3 minutes. Now in that video you will practically speaking introduce yourself and talk about what your skill sets are, what are your plus areas, and what are your career aspirations, what kind of a job what kind of a job are you looking for, what kind of a position is your preferred position, give a background of your past, but likely duration of this particular video should not go beyond ideally 3 minutes. Third is add to it an English language test report, a scanned copy of your English language test report that confirms that you do have the required English language skills in various aspects, be it speaking, listening, reading or writing, and attach a scanned copy of that. Fourth step that you could take, and that will be highly beneficial for you, is that you attach the scanned copy of the employment reference letters. Ensure that you take employment reference letters from your employers in whichever country you are in, whether it's in India, Pakistan, Asia, whichever part of continent you are in, country you are in. Get employment reference letters from your current and past employers, as against the letters, appointment letter or promotion letter or relieving letter, that practically speaking talk about association with the company. The employment reference letter is a different kind of a document that essentially talks about not only about your position or the duration for which you are employed with the company, and that's most critical, talks about the duties and responsibilities that were performed by you while you were associated with that particular company. So these four key elements, you have the resume ready, you have the short video ready, and then the resume that you make is a local resume structured in the local preferred formats. The video that you made gives an outline of your past as well as what your future job aspirations are. You have your employment reference letters ready, and you have your English language test reports ready. So all these four things are ready. The next step that you should do is that you should search for employment search agencies, job placement agencies that are specializing in the field in which you are specializing in, and in which your skill set is. For instance, there are some agencies, job search agencies, headhunters who may specialize only in IT placement. There are others who may be interested only in placing only HR professionals, and there are others who place hospitality professionals. So like that, pick out the specializing search agency that deals with your field and start placing your resume around 3 months before you plan to land. You must mail to them these four other key elements that I just discussed earlier, and start mailing to them. Give them the likely date of your arrival. So say if you're going in July, start writing to them by May and tell them that you will be available for interview in Canada, Australia, whichever your immigration destination, in the month of July, and they can start searching for likely employers and shortlisting interviews for you by the time you land there. So the employment search agencies will make a definite effort to look for a job for you, because they earn out of placements, and so that's something that you should remember. In between these 5 stages and 5 steps, it's the most likely scenario that you will be having some scheduled interviews by the time you land, and you will face a situation where you have a gainful employment normally within 2 to 4 months of landing, which is very good, and which is a scenario that you can look forward to. From that point of view, immigration for you, then it's not only a dream, you also become a successful immigrant.